If you've walked through Boston Common, you might have seen the Embrace statue, a tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. Surrounding it is the 1965 Freedom Plaza, with the names of 69 local civil rights leaders. A special series for Black History Month features 20 of these local heroes, and reporter Tiana Woodard shared some of their remarkable stories. Tiana, happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Now, what is this Globe series for Black History Month?
Yeah, so this series is Black History Now, and these 20 or so leaders, these are the ones that are still with us out of the 69 that are celebrated at the Freedom Plaza. And each day we're doing a profile of each of these 20 leaders to show what contributions they've had to Boston's history and how they're still continuing to make their mark in every one of our lives.
Of these 20 that are still living, we're going to talk about 3. And first person we're talking about is Byron Rushing. Why is he significant to the civil rights movement?
Gosh. He's done so much. I've spoken with Byron for a lot of different stories, especially ones relating to history. He's just such a great guy and such an inspiration. But the main reason that he's highlighted for the Freedom Plaza is that he served for almost 40 years on Beacon Hill. And he's originally from New York, but he came here when the civil rights movement was just beginning in the South, and he kind of joined the Northern student movement, which was kind of inspired by the South, but hoping to address any of the inequities and problems that people in the North were having just as much as they were in the South. So in his early 20s, about my age, he got really deep into this work and served in a bunch of different organizations, organizing, getting people to vote, mobilizing people. And another big thing that he did is that he was able to fundraise to get the Museum of African American History, their location, the African Meeting House in Beacon Hill. And today he's still doing a lot of work related to history. He's the president of the Roxbury Historical Society. Too
often in the civil rights movement and in any movement, the contributions of women get overlooked. And we want to make sure that we acknowledge Shirley Owens Hicks. Tell us about her.
Yeah, so I know the big thing that people usually think about is that she was representative in Beacon Hill, but way before that, she was just always a really big champion for education equity and for Black and brown students in Boston. She had done so much for just making sure that Black and brown students had the opportunities that their white peers had. And even though this happened, or she was on the Boston School Committee from about 84 to 88, that was 10 years after the Garrity decision that desegregated Boston public schools, but as we know, even today, that's had a long overarching impact. And 10 years after that, there were still so many issues and so many challenges that students were facing. So she really went up to bat for students, and there was a lot of tension and a lot of vitriol that was thrown her way for the work that she did. But she was very unapologetic and was a lot of the reason that a lot of Black students that now are probably leading the city in other roles, whether it's in politics and business, they have a lot to thank for her work.
Tiana, the last person that we're going to speak about is Marvin Gilmore Jr. Now, he's 100 years young.
I know.
And still going strong.
Right. I've personally spoken with him to just get more historical perspective. It's just, he's literally 100 years of history. So he has many stories to tell, but the thing that he's probably most known for is that he co-founded the first Black-owned bank in Boston in the 60s, and that's now today the One United Bank, which is kind of branched out and has spots in LA and in Florida as well. And he's also a World War II veteran, and just we have so few people that are still here to tell those stories, let alone Black people that served. And his experiences with discrimination and also just being on the front lines of that great war, he has been able to provide a lot of perspective and just some firsthand experiences about how that shaped his work and his advocacy. And also today, he's also has tapped into the cannabis industry and is doing a lot with his own work in there to make sure that people that were harmed by the war on drugs are able to profit through that, or able to profit from the same industry that harmed them.
Reporter Tiana Woodard, thank you for joining us on Boston Globe today.
Thanks for having me. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. For Boston Globe Today interviews delivered straight to your inbox, be sure to sign up for our newsletter at bostonglobe.com/BGT.